Christopher Corcoran is suing his former employee, Joshua Curry, for unpaid legal fees.
Mr. Corcoran, the case is relatively simple and straightforward. It is your claim that the defendant owes you for legal fees that you paid on his behalf.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Curry says that there was never an agreement to pay you anything, and you paid legal fees for him for a criminal matter because he was such a valued employee that without him, your business couldn't function.
That's very true, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's relatively easy. How long did you work for Mr. Corcoran, Mr. Curry, from when to when?
For August of 2020 until September of 2023.
And how much did you earn?
200 to 300, depending on how long it was.
So you want to tell me when you got into some legal trouble?
It was July 5th morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning. I had heard some news from one of my friends passing away from a motorcycle wreck, and I was just a little emotional, went on a motorcycle ride myself, and the police tried to pull me over, which I made a bad decision and didn't pull over.
Well, let's go back a second. I just want to make sure I'm hearing it right. You got some very bad news that a friend of yours had been killed in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
And you were very upset about it.
Well, emotional, yes.
You were upset about it, hadn't been drinking.
Nope.
No drugs.
Nope.
So at 4 o'clock in the morning, you decided to go on a motorcycle ride.
Yep.
Where did you take your motorcycle for a ride?
I was just going for a ride through Marymount.
And is that a big town or a little town?
It's a small little town outside Cincinnati.
And the police must see you because you're going to tell me what happened when the police tried to pull you over.
Well, there was like a medium from one direction to the other from the way the cop was coming. I wasn't speeding. I wasn't doing anything illegal. They busted you. He came up behind me and was trying to pull me over for what I thought for no reason.
So the police were trying to pull you over while you were riding your motorcycle?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened?
Emotions got the best of me. I flipped the bird and just took off.
Okay.
Christopher Corcoran claims his former employee, Joshua Curry, owes for attorney fees he loaned to Joshua.
So
you made a middle finger gesture.
Yes, ma'am.
And took off on your motorcycle.
That's right.
How fast did you take off?
I probably hit 100 miles an hour at some point.
So now you're driving 100 miles an hour through this small town in Ohio. Police try to pull you over. High-speed chase. They finally got you to pull over.
Yes, ma'am.
And they arrested you.
Well, they impounded my bike, and they actually took me home once they realized that I didn't do anything wrong.
Don't tell me what they realized. You can't tell me what they realized. They impounded your bike.
Yes, and they drove me home and gave me failure to comply.
So they gave you a ticket.
Well, it's a ticket, which was a misdemeanor ticket, yes.
Were you originally charged with a misdemeanor or with a felony?
I think it was a misdemeanor. It was a misdemeanor.
Let me see what you're looking at. Okay, so at some point you got in touch with your boss. Mm-hmm. Tell me when that was.
Probably later on that evening, that day, and I told him I was in trouble. Yeah.
And at that point, did you ask him to do anything for you?
Not at that point, no.
At what point?
I don't really remember. It was just more or less like, we're going to handle this, we'll make sure everything's okay, kind of conversations.
Okay. Now I'm going to come to you, Mr. Corcoran. First of all, you have a business that is what?
It's a commercial construction. We had set up pallet racking and warehouse.
When did you start the business?
2008.
Is the business still ongoing?
Yes.
And it's still ongoing, so you've managed to keep your business even after this valued employee is gone.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I have to tell you something, Mr. Curry. The only time that you become indispensable is when the show has your name on it. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Other than that, everybody can be replaced. I say that because your defense is, because what Mr. Corcoran did is he contacted a lawyer on your behalf, and that's the money he wants. And your position was you never asked him for it, you just did it. Okay, so you tell me about the conversation that you had with him, Mr. Corcoran, when he called the next day.
He called me, told me that what pretty much verbatim.
Exactly what he told me.
He went to court. He called me after court. He said, I don't know what to do. He said, they told me to come back with an attorney.
So now he's going back and he said to you, this is bad. I have to go back to court. They told me to come back with a lawyer. Did you tell him that?
Well, yeah.
And you said to him,
I said, let me make a phone call. I'll get in touch with my attorney. He'll call you, get your side of it, and we'll go from there.
So you called your lawyer.
So I called my attorney. He called Mr. Curry. They spoke. He called me back. He says, Chris, this is bad. This is bad. He said he's going to do some time on this.
And then?
He said, he said he doesn't have any money, and he told me $6,000. So I told Mr. Curry, and he says, well, I don't have that. I said, well, I'll take it out of your check, and on we went.
Is that what he said to you?
Well, that's not really how I remember the conversation, but I mean, it was a couple years ago.
I would like you to tell me how, Mr. Curry, you remember the conversation.
Well, I just remember him saying that, I have a friend that's a lawyer. We'll take care of this. We'll get it handled.
Well, Mr. Curry, what I'm asking you is, you're not related to him. You're not his brother. You're not his cousin. You're not his son-in-law. You're an employee. If you knew about the amount of money, $6,000, why in the world would you think that he was just going to cover that for you?
I mean, he brought it up to me after the fact that it was paid. Like, I didn't have a chance to say yes or no to $6,000.
Well, you knew the lawyer wasn't working for nothing.
Well, I completely understand that. But I also thought the way that he would approach me was like, we're going to take care of this.
Okay. May I see the invoice from the attorney and a copy of your check? You have a copy of your check?
No, I paid cash.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Your Honor.
This doesn't do it for me, sir. Show me where you took $6,000 from.
Out of my safe. I mean, I keep a lot of cash on hand at the house.
Well, I'm not believing you, sir. I'm going to tell you I'm not believing you. Because there's no reason why you would pay a lawyer in cash. For somebody else, when the somebody else is expected to pay you back, so you have absolutely no proof that you paid anybody. You loaned somebody money to pay a lawyer. You pay that lawyer by check, and you have proof of it. There's a possibility that you did lay out some money for him, for a lawyer. I don't believe it was $6,000 because this is not a lawyer's invoice.
I can get him on the phone.
Oh, no, I'm absolutely positive that you can get somebody on the phone, sir, unless I have proof that the amount of money that you laid out for Mr. Curry, I'm dismissing your case without prejudice. You go and plead it to somebody else. I don't buy it. We're done here.
This court is adjourned.
If you're making a loan to somebody, especially in a case like this where there was no family relation, no, like you said, no particular reason why the plaintiff would just out of the kindness of his heart step up and pay this bill, I would want a paper trail or 2 or 3 to ensure that they could not go back on their word to repay you for the loan that you so nicely laid out for them. And I found it almost as odd as you that he paid cash and didn't even have anything as far as a handwritten note that said, I paid this to the lawyer on this day, signed by someone. It doesn't even have to be official, but just pulling $6,000 out of your safe in cash, it's less than what we needed for his loan.
What's interesting, Sarah, is I actually think he got a lawyer to go in with him on what was a ticket.
Yeah.
But certainly no lawyer would say, oh, that's very serious. He's looking at serious jail. That's baloney, unless there was another charge there. But I don't see why a lawyer would demand $6,000 in cash. It doesn't make sense to me.
And if it doesn't make sense,
it's not true. When you broke up, you took the car.
He was doing me a favor and gifted me the vehicle.
The discussion was for her to use the vehicle.
Then he took the car back.
Yes, ma'am.
Put your hand down. I'm not listening to you unless you tell me what law school you graduated from.
Harvard.
Was that just a wise-ass remark? Now you can leave.
This is Judy Justice. Reina Carreño Harvey is suing her ex-boyfriend, Hector Diaz, for trespassing and a stolen car.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3133, Carreño Harvey versus Diaz.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Harvey, how long and during what period of time did you and Mr. Diaz live together?
We were together on and off since January of 2018.
There came a time, according to your complaint, when you were living together when you needed a car.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was in 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
And at that point, you had been living together about a year and a half.
Yes, ma'am.
You did what you're not supposed to do, which is just living together. You bought a car together, titled in both your names, and the loan was in both your names.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of car did you buy?
A 2016 Ford Focus SE.
How much was it?
After taxes and title, about $14,000.
And how much was the loan?
$16,000.
Why?
The tags and title after taxes.
Okay. So it was a $16,000 loan.
Yes, ma'am.
That you both took out.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you handle the payments on the car?
I had the responsibility of the monthly payments.
Is that correct, Mr. Diaz?
Yes, ma'am. But the total of the loan was $14,000. The price of the car was $12,000. After everything, was $14,000.
May I see, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. How much was put down on the car?
$1,000.
Who put it down?
Both of us.
And you made the car payments for how many months?
I would say the first 6 or 7 months duration of the loan.
Well, that's not the duration of the loan. You paid for 6 or 7 months.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 6 or 7 months. So you had a certain amount of equity in the car, but the car still had more than half of the loan still outstanding. So far, are we correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, it is your claim that when you broke up, you took the car.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim that the defendant came onto your property uninvited in 2023 and took the car back.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Diaz does not, stop playing with your papers.
Okay, yeah, ma'am.
Mr. Diaz does not deny that he came onto your property, took the car, had to have it rekeyed, and he took the car on what date?
October 17th, 2023.
However, Mr. Diaz says that when you broke up in 2021, you couldn't come to an agreement on the car because he's smart enough to know, I assume you are too, that if you broke up, the one who had possession of the car should be the only one on the title and the only one on the loan. We all understand that.
Yes.
Because we don't want a couple that's no longer a couple, somebody driving around with somebody else responsible for the payment, responsible for insurance. Okay. And Mr. Diaz says that you could not come to an agreement of how you were going to renegotiate the loan. You say he wouldn't help you renegotiate the loan.
He refused me to renegotiate the loan.
You mean to give you money?
No. What he refused is I wanted to refinance the vehicle solely to myself, and he denied me that.
He said no?
Yes.
Okay. Did he give you a 2014 Volkswagen?
Yes, it was gifted.
Okay. And that was in 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
So in 2021, because this is what Mr. Diaz says, he felt as if, based upon the fact that you had a certain amount of equity, you would put in $500 towards the car and made 6 or 7 payments on the car before you broke up, that you had a certain amount of equity. He had a 2014 Volkswagen that had no debt. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And he gave that car to you. That is correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he give you the title to that car?
Yes, ma'am.
And he took back the Ford Focus?
Yes, ma'am.
So he said, here's a car for you. It's free and clear. It's for the equity that you put in the car, and you accepted it.
No, ma'am.
Well, what did he give you the Volkswagen for?
So I could have transportation. He was doing me a favor and gifted me the vehicle.
And he took over the payments on the Focus?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't you understand where it's going?
Yes.
He took over the payments on the Focus. He said, I'm more comfortable making the payments on the Focus, but I'll give you a car free and clear so you have transportation. And he took back the Focus, right? Yes. And he gave you the title for it. So you accepted this car that had some value, and you took it and you traded it in. Is that correct?
Yes, I sold it.
Sold it for how much?
$3,000.
And you took some of that money and you put it as a down payment for a Jeep.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was in 2022?
Yes.
What year Jeep did you buy?
A 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
And how much was it?
$11,000.
How much did you put down?
$1,500.
And so you kept the other $1,500. You sold it for $3,000. You sold the car he had given you for $3,000, took $1,500 of that, put it down. Don't say anything. I just want to know if I'm following this. Put it down on a nicer car, a Jeep, with a loan. And then you didn't pay that loan and that car got repossessed.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, Ms. Harvey, you evidently were still in contact with the defendant and let him know that you didn't have a car.
Yes, ma'am.
So he let you borrow the Focus.
No, ma'am. I took possession of the vehicle and continued payments on it.
How did you take possession of it?
Wait,
just a second. Let's start with when did you take possession of it? Month and year. That's after he already gave you $3,000, at least $3,000 worth of merchandise for your interest in the car. So tell me when you took the car back.
I would say in the early...
Well, when did you go? You went to his house? How did you get the car back?
I met with him at his home, and we went to another dealership to give me the Ford, and he purchased a Mitsubishi. And I took possession of the Ford after we left the dealership with the Mitsubishi.
Well, that sounds like you're pretty chummy if he gave you back. What do you want?
Hi, I just wanted to say that I was present for the interaction when he gifted her the Beetle. During that interaction, what it was that her mother had passed away. She expressed that she could no longer make the payments. He said, I'll take the car back and continue payments, and I won't leave you without transportation so she can continue to get to work. And he gave her the Beetle.
He gave her an expensive car, which she subsequently sold, bought a car that she didn't make payments on that was repossessed. He's very smart for not letting...
She informed him that that was her intention with the vehicle.
Who cares? Okay. Sit.
Reyna Carreño Harvey claims her ex-boyfriend, Hector Diaz, is responsible for stealing her car. Hector is countersuing Reyna for locksmith costs and attorney fees.
Just so that we're all clear, you bought a car together, you broke up. You invested some money in the car, he invested some money in the car. When you broke up, he kept the car, the Ford Focus, and he gave you a car which you subsequently sold for $3,000, bought yourself a new car with a loan which you didn't pay, which got repossessed. And you're telling me he gave you the other car with the Focus. Is that what you're telling me? He gave you the Focus.
He gave me the Volkswagen and he...
No, gave you back the Focus.
Yes, gave me back the Focus,
Gave you back the Focus after your Jeep had been repossessed.
Yes, ma'am.
That would make him the dumbest man in the world. Mm-hmm. That would make him really stupid. Month and year. Did she give me the month and year 2022? Was it 2022 or 2023?
It was 2022 when I got my Jeep.
Yeah, so it was 2023 when he came and took the Focus back.
Yes.
And how long had it been in your possession? The second time when he says he loaned it to you because you said you didn't have any transportation. How long had it been in your possession?
Since after my Jeep got repossessed.
Just a second. Give me the month and year that your
July of 2022.
So in July of 2022, he gave you the Focus?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct, Mr. Diaz? Doesn't sound right to me. No.
We discussed the use of the Ford Focus in towards the middle of December 2022, and she had it until October of 2017 of 2023, which is whenever I went back and...
Just a second. Tell me what the discussion was in December of 2022.
For her to use the vehicle so she had a means of transportation, and then in me doing that, of course, I would go and purchase another vehicle so I would have a means of transportation. And
I mean, were you dating, Mr. Diaz, were you still dating at that time?
No, ma'am, not at that time.
How often did you see each other?
We still had communication through text and everything since...
Okay, I assumed you still liked her.
Yeah, to some degree, yes.
Yeah, I assume so. Okay, so in December of 2022, we discussed her taking the car and using it until...
December 2022.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
How long was she going to use it?
Until she could save enough to purchase a vehicle or otherwise.
Okay, and she would make the payments on it.
Yes, ma'am.
From January 2023.
2023, yes, ma'am. And
January 2023 until
October 2023, yes, ma'am. But I was ahead on payments because I was paying more than the minimum. So she didn't have to make a payment until February of 2023, and she paid up to September of 2023.
Okay, and what were the payments on the car?
$238 and 10 cents.
So far, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
You said no, man. You want to listen very carefully. He's got very clear records. He said you didn't have to make your first payment until February 2023.
In January.
January what?
Of 2023.
January what? January
when the
1st,
bill was due.
January 1st, January 31st, January 15th.
The 22nd of the month is when the bill was due.
Okay, so he had made the payments up until the end of January.
Yes.
And you made the payments until when?
From January until September, but I was going to pay October, but he took the car back before I could make the payment.
Okay, you didn't make the payment and he took the car back.
No, ma'am.
Just a second. What was the payout on the car? Because your answer says, Mr. Diaz, that you paid off the car.
Yes, ma'am. The final payoff amount was $6,873.99.
When did you pay that, sir?
October 11th of 2023.
Okay, so now you've paid off the car.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me why you paid off the car, Mr. Diaz.
Because we had it was an ongoing thing where she was trying to refinance the car in her name and not really pay me for any advancements that I made on the payment, any progress that I made on the payment. So I didn't want to take my name off the title without being offered something back because I was ahead on the loan up to that point. So when around that in October, where we had it was an argument that really wasn't relating to the vehicle, but the vehicle dragged me into it.
Of course. So you had an argument. What was the argument about?
It was about kind of just in general spending habits and.
No, you have to explain that to me. What do you have to do with spending habits of each other's?
Well, I was also paying for the insurance from December 2022 forward. So I added her as a driver.
Okay, so she paid the payment on the car,
yes, ma'am,
which is $200, $200 and some odd dollars a month, and you paid for the insurance.
Yes, ma'am. But she paid me, I think, a month or two of those. And then from there, she either wasn't able to make a payment or didn't make a payment for the insurance.
So you had the use of the car from late January of 2023 until September of 2023.
Until October 17th, the day that he took the car.
Okay. And so you had the use of a car for a relatively inexpensive cost, a couple of $100s a month. You couldn't rent a car for a couple of $100s a month. And it's clear that the person who spent, if you had to take apart the loan, the person who spent most money on this car is him, right? But I don't even have to get there. I would like to hear your theory. Why in the world would he give you a $3,000, at least a $3,000 gift after you broke up of a Volkswagen, and he kept the car, if not as in for a settlement of whatever you put in up until that time into the Ford Focus? Give me a reason.
It wasn't for a settlement, ma'am. He did it out of kindness of his heart, as well as he still loved me, and he gave me the vehicle so I would have a way to go to work.
Okay,
and
so
transportation.
Ms. Harvey, you have no case. Your case is dismissed. Now he's got a counterclaim. He's got the car?
Yes,
you have the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Is it solely in your name?
No, ma'am. The title, when I paid it off, the title came in, so it still has both on the title.
Can I see the title, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I also have lost wages from him taking the car from me since October.
That's your problem. You're a grown woman.
Reyna Carreño Harvey is accusing her ex-boyfriend, Hector Diaz, of trespassing and stealing her car. Hector is countersuing for locksmith costs and attorney fees.
I mean, if you took advantage of him because she still loved you, that doesn't necessarily mean you're entitled to this car or you're entitled to the lost wages because he took the car. From a layperson's perspective, Miss Harvey, what you did was you had a boyfriend, you bought a car in both your names. It was clearly designated for you,
yes,
as you were a couple. When you broke up, you couldn't make a decision, the two of you, as to how the car was going to get paid off so that it would be separate property. You agree that it should be separate property, right?
Yes.
Okay. figure out where she signs over this title.
Your Honor.
Put your hand down. I'm not listening to you.
That's fine.
Unless you tell me what law school you graduated from.
Harvard.
Really? Really? Is that just a wise-ass remark?
No.
Really? When did you graduate from Harvard?
Was your comment about law school a wise remark?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now you can leave.
Thank
Put
you.
her out. There is no question in my mind that in an attempt to resolve the issue of the car, when you broke up, he kept the car, he made the payments, he gave you a car that was a perfectly reasonable running car that you elected to sell to buy yourself a nicer car. Irresponsible? Absolutely, because you bought a car that you couldn't pay for, and that car got repossessed. And if what you're telling me is you knew that he still cared about you, so he said to you, well, I'm going to give you the car, and I'm going to pay the whole thing off.
He paid the whole car off spitefully. No one asked him to pay for the car, car off.
Just a second, madam. You were overreaching. Unless there's something about this whole relationship that I think it's on the bottom that he signs, that she signs it.
That's for a lien holder, so I'm not sure.
No,
I
it's
believe she was signed the back as seller.
Just a second.
Remove her name.
You know where?
Yes, ma'am. And then also have the form for so that I can apply for in Texas for.
Yeah, she's going to sign both. Where do you come from, by the way?
I'm from San Diego, California, and we both live in Texas now.
You both live in Texas?
Yes.
Okay.
There was three.
She's
He
gonna
may
make
want to
it-
show her where to.
What?
He may want to show
Just a
her where to
second.
sign.
Kevin, he's going to make an X where she has to sign on both forms.
You have a pin for me? Yes. Thank you, sir.
I haven't signed many titles in my time.
Miss Harvey, sign it. Both documents. Turn the documents to the defendant, Kevin.
Thank you, sir.
Now you paid off the car and now you own it.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a counterclaim. And the counterclaim is the cost of reclaiming the car and the locksmith cost to change the key.
Yes, ma'am.
You got the car back, sir. That was your primary concern. The car is now yours.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
The plaintiff paid for, in effect, her monthly use of the car. She got her equity in the car with the 2014 Volkswagen, which she elected to sell.
Right.
Fair. So I don't think it's quite reasonable for her to have to pay your fees to repossess the car.
Understood.
Or even the attorney that you discussed the situation with.
Yes, ma'am.
So your counterclaim is dismissed. We're finished here.
Thank you.
This court is adjourned. This way, please.
I spent 41 years of my life in the courtroom. I have seen criminals who showed no remorse and others who were already broken before they ever committed a crime. I have watched children testify against their parents and parents crushed beneath the weight of their own choices. But on the morning of November 3, 2016, the man standing before me reminded me once again of the thin line judges walk every day between law and humanity. The case was titled State vs. Daniel Carter. The charge: bank fraud and identity theft. Amount: $48,600. 5 illegal transfers from 5 different accounts. When I walked into the courtroom, I had already reviewed the file. The numbers were clear. Transaction dates, IP addresses, login records, everything traced back to his apartment. Technically, it was a straightforward case. A crime had been committed, the evidence was solid. But when Daniel Carter was brought before me, he was not what I had imagined. He was 29 years old, though he looked older. Dark circles under his eyes, an unshaven beard, simple but clean clothes. His hands were cuffed, yet he did not stand with his head bowed. He stood straight like someone who did not intend to run. I began the proceedings. Mr. Carter, you are charged with illegally accessing 5 separate bank accounts and transferring nearly $50,000. How do you plead? He leaned toward the microphone and said, I transferred the money, Your Honor. There was movement in the courtroom. No denial. And you knew it was illegal. Yes. The prosecutor stood and read the victim's statements. A retired teacher whose life savings had been partially drained. A single mother whose rent payment was delayed. A small business owner forced to take out a loan. This was deliberate, the prosecutor argued. The defendant is a trained IT specialist. He knowingly hacked the system. This was not an emotional lapse, it was planned. I nodded, the evidence supported that claim. Then I asked Daniel, would you like to tell the court why you did this? He was silent for a moment, then he said, because I needed to buy time. The answer caught me off guard. Time for what? His voice softened, for my sister. That was not mentioned in the original summary. The defense attorney submitted a thick folder of medical records. Daniel's younger sister, Emily Carter, 17 years old, she suffered from a rare genetic disorder, severe lung failure. Doctors had recommended an urgent experimental treatment costing approximately $60,000. The insurance company had denied coverage because the treatment was considered unapproved. Your parents, I asked. My father died 5 years ago. My mother worked 2 jobs. Last year she had a heart attack. She can't work anymore. And you? I did freelance work, but the amount we needed, I couldn't raise it in 6 months. The doctor said we might have 3 months. Silence filled the courtroom. The prosecutor spoke firmly. Many people face financial hardship, they do not steal. Daniel nodded, that's true. Then why did you? He looked at me, there was no arrogance in his eyes, only exhaustion. Because she's my little sister. When our father died, I promised I'd take care of her. At night she was connected to a breathing machine. Every time she coughed, it felt like time was running out. The defense explained that the stolen funds were transferred directly into a medical payment account. There was no evidence of personal luxury spending. Every dollar had gone toward hospital bills. Did the treatment work? I asked. Yes, the defense attorney replied. 3 months later, Emily's condition stabilized. She is now preparing for college. The prosecutor responded, that does not erase the crime. The victims suffered financial and emotional harm. That was also true. The victims were called to testify. The retired teacher, Mrs. Howard, said, I spent my life teaching children about honesty. When I saw money missing from my account, I felt like the world had changed. The single mother said, my rent was at risk. I cried all night. I could see the fear in their eyes. Financial loss is not just about money, it is about trust. The defense revealed another detail. At the time of his arrest, Daniel had provided the police with passwords and recovery information. 80% of the money was immediately recovered. The remaining amount had already been spent on medical treatment. He had surrendered all his freelance income to repay the rest. Do you feel remorse? I asked. Every day, he answered without hesitation. If you could go back. He paused. I would do it again, but maybe I wouldn't wait so long to turn myself in. The courtroom murmured. The prosecutor said, that is an admission that he places his judgment above the law. I considered that, was it arrogance or desperation? The jury deliberated for 3 days. Verdict guilty on all 5 counts. Sentencing was now my responsibility. Under the law, the maximum sentence was 12 years in prison. I asked Daniel to stand. Mr. Carter, you deliberately hacked financial systems, you caused financial and emotional harm to 5 individuals, you broke trust. Under the law, this is a serious offense. His mother sat in the back row with an oxygen tank beside her. His sister was there too, thin, fragile, but alive, breathing. I continued, however, the court also considers that you did not use the funds for personal gain. You cooperated with law enforcement. You have no prior criminal record, and 80% of the funds were recovered. The prosecutor recommended a harsh sentence to set an example. I paused, the courtroom held its breath. Then I delivered the sentence. The court sentences you to 8 years in prison. However, 6 of those years are suspended. You will serve 2 years of incarceration followed by 5 years of probation. You will make full financial restitution. Upon release, you will be required to participate in a cybersecurity outreach program to educate the public on protecting themselves from online fraud. The courtroom fell silent. Tears filled Daniel's eyes, but he did not smile. He understood this was not freedom, but it was not total destruction either. I concluded. This court does not condone your actions. The law must remain above personal judgment. But this court also recognizes that sometimes people choose between love and fear and in doing so break both. You broke the law, now you must spend time repairing what you damaged. The gavel struck. The officers led him away. His sister quietly wiped her tears. And that day, I learned something once again. Justice is never a simple equation. It exists not only between crime and punishment, but between intention and consequence. And sometimes, a judge must uphold the law without allowing humanity to die in the process.